Hey guys, what's up? Steve Talks here. I'm Steve and welcome to my channel. So chat. What are we gonna talk about today, huh? First off, let me say that I bought a new ring light. I just got it in the morning. This is the Sensei 12 inch. I just wanted to be safe, like the diameter and stuff, whatever. I'll just show you the difference, okay? Look at this. The difference is massive, and this is not even at the highest setting, like it's the lowest of the low setting because my eyes hurt when I look at the ring light too much. So let's see what we're going to talk about today. Ooh, Concord employees caught bragging before shutdown. Concord is a game which is a gift to us and humankind, okay? Which is a gift that keeps on giving, bro. Like, come on, chat, it's not even fair. I bet you content creators have made more money than Concord itself, Like, that is crazy. There are more comments and discussions than there were players ever playing Concord. Think about it for a second, like, wow. And for their employees to do this, like brag, bro, you gotta be so out of touch for that. Let's watch this video.
So a ton of new information has just been released about Concord, including the actual cost of the game, which is apparently about $400 million.
It's way more than that. That is just to develop the game. Buying the company was a different cost altogether. $500 million bans on that, bro. Like, come on.
Prior rough estimates were between 50 million to 150 million USD, so if this figure's accurate, then it's significantly worse. This also seems to make Concord Sony's largest failure ever.
Yet, that's the keyword.
Amplifying that loss is that Concord...
Because I heard there are way more expensive projects in development. One of them is Spider-Man, but we all know, come on, that game is going to pass with flying colors. I think the budget is 315, but with marketing and stuff, it's going to go about 400 because you see, when Sony markets Spider-Man, I still remember their Australian presentation when they marketed that. There was a truck that was upside down with spider webs hanging everywhere. Amazing marketing, dude. So it's going to be around in the 400 million range.
Concord apparently had the largest budget out of any Sony game that they've ever made to date, and that Sony even thought this could be their version of Star Wars, hoping to profit off Concord long into the future. That's just a quick summary of some of the new information presented by Colin Moriarty, in a clip he posted that's just over 8 minutes long. He'll go over some of this stuff in more detail, and we'll also further talk about this, and then I have another source that I also want to show you too. Now that takes us to this tweet where Colin Moriarty says, I spoke extensively with someone who worked on Concord, and it's so much worse than you think. It was internally referred to as the future of PlayStation, with
like, to be so tone deaf and so blindsided, like, come on.
Star Wars-like potential, and a dev culture of toxic positivity halted any negative feedback, making it cost $400 million. And now, before I start playing what I view as some of the highlight areas of the clip, I've actually got a little more of a summary to go over, that being about the first 4 minutes of the clip, since I can just recap this pretty dang quick. But like I also mentioned, some of this we will break down in further detail. So the clip begins with him talking about this anonymous source of his, where he essentially says that someone who worked on Concord approached him, and he spent a great amount of time checking and confirming that that person is who they say they are. After that, he goes on to talk about the financial situation and that $400 million figure as mentioned. It sounds like...
Still baffles me. Still, I mean, I still can't believe, like, where did the money go?
Like by 2023, around $200 million was already spent on Concord, and that was before Sony purchased Firewalk Studios. After Sony acquired Firewalk, they spent another $200 million on the game.
Just to make it viable, okay? This is not even to develop it fully. This is just to make it viable. The minimum viable product we talk about, just to get it there.
All of that simply to get the game to minimum viability. It sounds like before Sony got involved, Firewalk was already a giant mess, doing who the heck knows what with the $200 million that they already had, because the game was apparently in a pathetic state. Although, of course, we already know how the end product also ended up being, but yeah. Okay, now with the first 4 minutes or so summarized, I'll let parts of the clip speak for itself.
The game cost about $400 million to make, soup to nuts. Sony put most of that money in, and it is not only so, because we had kind of said, like, this must be Sony's biggest loss ever on a game, and it is. It's the biggest game Sony's ever released from a budgetary standpoint from the first party or second party. So let that sink in.
It's crazy.
And it's totally unintuitive.
Even this guy below, he is just baffled. I can just see the look on his face. Like, he is just in his, where the hell did this money go? How did Sony let this happen?
There are games that are in development right now at Sony first and second party that are more expensive than this. But as
There
of the
it
games
is.
that have come out so far, so think about like Spider-Man 2 and so on and so forth. We know The Last of Us Part 2 cost $220 million. Spider-Man 3 is going to cost about $350 million. This game costs more
And 50 million marketing budget, give or take. So yeah, above 400. I can guarantee you that.
than that. And they lost all of it because they made no money.
Just think about that statement. You spent $400 million and you lost all of it. Not even a dollar made on that. Like, how crazy is that? They refunded the players, which is good, which is absolutely a big win. Okay, because they just made 1 million, okay? And in marketing terms, the goodwill hit that they would have taken, it's not worth that 1 million. So thank God they refunded that. And that refund, by the way, costed them way more than 1 million. Because the whole process of initiating the refund, doing all this, allocating resources and stuff, that is way more. So they actually lost so much money on this, it's baffling. It's going to go down in history, in case studies. Harvard is going to make case studies on this, okay?
They made about $1 million gross revenue, and then they gave it all back. So this is a huge, multiple hundreds of millions of dollar loss.
So now skipping ahead, here's where he talks about that whole like Star Wars thing. Like Sony really thought this would be their Star Wars. They really thought they were going to make so much money for years and years off Concord. The situation was already amusing when we thought they spent like 50 to 150 million dollars on this game, and it's just like astronomically worse than that.
What game is that? Can somebody comment down below, like, what game is this guy playing? Like, it looks good.
The idea behind this was, and the term apparently verbatim had been used, that Concord is the future of PlayStation.
Jesus Christ,
That
bro.
they had such major ambition for this game that it was referred to in
I'll give it that the ambition could be seen in the cutscenes. They focused all their money in the wrong place. We don't want a cutscene simulator, okay? There are games like that, like The Walking Dead and all those series, like, which have this animated game like transitions and all that stuff. We already have those. But they made the cutscenes so good and the gameplay absolute shite. Character design, don't even want to speak about it. Just move on.
internally as a Star Wars like project for Sony, that it can be repeatedly revisited over and over and over again, not only in cross media, but in what we were seeing. We've already kind of seen little bits of it. So the weekly story vignettes that they were going to release, and then of course the inclusion in Amazon's Secret Levels anthology, that's like just scratching the surface of it. Ironically, the game was
It's just funny looking at the guy below, like he's in utter disbelief, okay?
codenamed Chaos behind the scenes.
Suits it.
And a major thing about the game is that there was, and I think we can kind of get this vibe from just the nature of the people making it and kind of the way the game reads and all that, a toxic positivity vibe.
This has been corroborated with multiple sources, by the way. One thing that can be, 100% certain, everybody's certain on that there was this culture there. You couldn't speak up against this game. Like, once you speak about it, you're the target, you're in the crosshairs. Oh, you don't like being positive and stuff. You don't like inclusion, this, that, and also this game, the toxic positivity. Oh man, this was rampant up and down the, you can say, chain of command.
You weren't allowed to say anything, apparently internally, about this game.
Okay, let's pause again because that's absolutely hilarious. First of all, that in of itself is hilarious, but the way he phrased that too, like, I think we could kind of tell because of the sort of people that worked on the game. And it's like, yeah, no kidding. For example, look how some of them acted as soon as people started criticizing the game. We had that one Concord dev calling anyone who criticized the game, quote unquote.
Look at this. Why would I care about a bunch of talentless freaks? When you talk about your audience, your consumers who are going to play the game like this, who the hell is going to buy your game? Tell me. Just tell me. Take Arrowhead, for example. I just saw on their Reddit that somebody has got the Steeled Veteran Edition. Like, think of it as a Deluxe Edition, okay? And you get a battle pass kind of free, right? The war bond, you call that in that game. So he already had bought it separately, so he wanted like a refund for that war bond so he could buy something else. Instead of sending the proof, he sent a cute cat picture. They specifically, let me just see if I can show you. No, you know what, it's going to take a lot of time. They replied specifically to this guy, okay? Like, it was so genuine, so nice, and they actually gave him the refund so he could buy whatever. And they also mentioned that the cat is cute, by the way. So the difference in the devs from this to that, astronomical.
talentless freaks. Dude was like freaking out on their Twitter account, insulting people, and then going into protected mode. And even removing Concord from their own bio. Then there was that senior concept artist, Amanda, who saw another artist criticizing the designs of Concord. And then Amanda was saying in this post, the character concept art team, including myself, is going through an extremely difficult time emotionally. And
Yeah, because your designs are shit. Oh my god. We have talked about this, and again, I'm going to get riled up, but the designs of that game in a hero shooter, why would you want to play? Oh man, just
some on the team no longer want to work in games, design characters, or even do art anymore after this, because of this, posts like yours. So
good.
understandable
Good. Nobody told y'all that the character design is shit.
are unfortunately ill-timed. None of us know which way the wind will blow at the studio. We're worried, sick, and terrified of the future. Not only that, but we have been shouldering the brunt of the emotional labor. Yeah, no, this whole thing that I read before, I don't want to repeat the entire thing. The point is, yeah, this whole toxic positivity thing at their company really checks out. These people acted like they never got criticism before, and then as soon as they got any, they just
That is true. They did not, because as everyone corroborated that you were not supposed to say anything against this game. Toxic positivity again. You see the harm that it caused. I'm hoping Sony takes this as a big lesson, which I doubt they will, but let's see.
displayed immense levels of unprofessionalism. Returning to the clip we left off here.
You weren't allowed to say anything, apparently internally, about this game. About how like something's wrong with it, character designs are not right, and so on and so forth. They really truly believe this was Herman Hulst's baby, apparently. And
He's the
internally
current CEO of PlayStation, by the way, so I don't know, man. The future of PlayStation.
it was himself a massive champion of the game. So it's not that. So the reason I'm telling you all of this, it's some interesting information, of course, but it's that I had said when people were like, Concord lost $200 million. Now people were pulling that money out because that's basically how much like some of the first party games like Ghost of Tsushima, The Last of Us Part 2, etc., kind of cost in that frame.
True.
And I was like, there's no way that it costs that much. I was saying like it cost 9 figures, probably like low $100 million, but
Everyone
there's
thought
no
that.
way it cost $200 million. No, it cost $400 million. So, and I am
If you do the math, you can actually believe that number. You know why? This was in development for 8 years. They have a team of over 100 employees. For 8 years, this game was being developed to pay their salaries and stuff. 400 million, it's believable, guys. Like, come on. And not even that, Sony buying them, another 100 million. So 500 million for the studio and the game. And not making a single cent for the past 8 years. Imagine.
totally solid on this source, by the way. So that's why I'm willing to share it with you. Because again, I'm not really a journalist. So yeah, the big things to take away: $400 million loss. The game was in horrible shape as of 18 months ago before release. Not even monetization, no onboarding, most content not even there. The game was in such bad shape at that point that they spent the budget of it again in urgent outsourcing to get the game finished from all of these different angles over an 18-month period. Internally, the game was considered part of the future of PlayStation with heavy cross-media references and a system of toxic positivity surrounding it that didn't allow anyone to meaningfully change the course of the game.
So well done, Colin, on getting all that information.
Another thing, maybe this was true 8 years ago. They locked in, like this is going to be the vision of the game 8 years ago. That's the problem when you make games for so long. People change, the environment change, everything changes, especially in this volatile nature that we are right now. Everyone, changes like that. So 8 years ago, maybe this game would have worked. Maybe when the DEI stuff and everything was at an all-time high, everyone was pushing this agenda and everything. And you also got to remember it was COVID and stuff, right? So maybe it would have worked in that time. Right now, nobody. And we saw the result, exactly what happened, right?
And I now present to you a Kotaku journalist. I know, Kotaku, I know. Well, let's just see what he says here real quick. He says, I can corroborate the part about toxic positivity. Some sources I've spoken with blamed a head in the sand mentality carried over from the studio's Bungie roots. A sense the game would come together because the team was too good to fail. I'll have more.
You know which other team did this? Like, everyone can remember. It's the Cyberpunk CD Projekt Red. They were the golden child of the gaming industry. They could do no wrong. I remember when I had not pre-ordered Cyberpunk. Okay, this was when it was on launch. I had the base PS4 that time. I said no, I'm not. But because of the reviews and stuff, it was all positive. They did not show that. That should have been a red flag. They did not show it for the PS4 and stuff. And during that time, getting a PS5 was very difficult. So 1 week before I pre-ordered the game, I bit the bullet. I said forget it. I booted it on my PS4. I played it on 15 FPS. You heard it right, not even 30. I was playing it like this, but I played it because I loved that game so goddamn much. But they thought, we are too good to fail. Nothing's gonna happen. And then you saw what happened. For the first time ever, a game had to be deplatformed and refunds had to be issued. I played the game in 2 days, like I completed the whole game. I played whole night and day, and I got my refund as well. So I got my money's worth. I basically played that game for free. Of course, I bought it now. I have the CD right here. I bought the PS4 version because it came with all these extra goodies and stuff. So you can see, I love this game. I have upgraded it to the PS5 version and I love it. I haven't played the DLC yet because I bought it in a different region, the account and stuff. So I don't want to spend again. I'm waiting for a sale. I'll buy it online and I'll just keep this, for my collection. They thought they were too good to fail, and see what happened. They had to spend millions of dollars and so much time and effort just to get the game to what they had promised. And now Cyberpunk is a hit. These people don't even have the luxury of telling that they made the Witcher series and they thought they were too good to fail. Like,
next week. And also in Concord news, we had this. From gamesindustry.biz, they say Concord director reportedly stepped
look at the character design, guys. Like, come on. Would you want to play as this bootleg Hellboy? Oh my god.
down Firewalk fears layoffs. A quote from a former developer saying, Ryan deeply believed in that project and bringing players together through the joy in it. Regardless of there being things that he could have done differently throughout development, he's a good human and full of heart.
Okay.
They add, sources also claim that Firewalk staff are uncertain of the studio's future. Some reportedly believe that it could become a co-development studio on other Sony projects, while many have allegedly shared concerns of layoffs and a possible shutdown of the studio. In Concord's official statement regarding the shutdown of the game, they did technically imply that they might relaunch the game at some point in the future. Obviously,
unless they change the character design from the ground up, I don't think so. Even if this game goes on for free, nobody's going to play it. Because remember, the game had a free beta weekend. There were less players in the free version than there were in the paid beta version. Let that sink in again. People paid money and there were more players, in that beta weekend than there were. So price is not an issue for this game. It comes down to the fundamental, the character design. Nobody wants to play as, like these bulky characters and stuff. In hero shooters, at least according to my knowledge, when you look at the character, you come to know what that character is. Like if you see a sleek design character which has blades and all, oh, this is a ninja character kind of a thing. When you see, a bulky character and stuff, he has good muscles, like a shield and stuff. Okay, this must be the tank of the game. You can look at this game and you don't know which character is which. That is the basic fundamental that is wrong with this game. And there were so many people that enjoyed the basic foundation of the gameplay, but if you're not enjoying the game that you're playing, what's the use?
that already seemed highly unlikely, and it seems to only be getting even less probable. At least it's given all of us a lot of entertainment, and it's hopefully been a giant wake-up call for the greedy AAA industry. As for this segment, I'll leave it there. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. Consider letting me know what you think about this stuff in the comments.
You will like,
if you enjoyed
guys.
my coverage,
Love
then
this
also
video, and also like the video, subscribe, and Steve out.